But if you can on the other side, just keep clear of the camera. Now you get close, it doesn't matter, you get a little closer. Don't be, I just want to make sure you can hear me. Come a little bit closer. A little bit closer, a tiny bit closer. Okay, sit down. So first of all, thank everybody for coming. Thank you. Sunday morning, for you guys to come, it means something, right? You can truly tell the diehards of anything when it's Sunday morning, right? So today's topic is an interesting one. Stretching, breathing, and then we had a quote. We added both the cherry on top. So the question always comes to me, as a martial artist, new students, when do we get to the mastery stuff? Like when do we get to like the secret techniques of something, right? And I'm always like, you'll be ridiculously disappointed when you find out. It's really, it is work on yourself. And it's quiet. It's not fighting anybody else, but it's actually just doing the work on yourself, right? So there's this common belief that people think, most people, they're tired of their life, so they just easily book a vacation and it's escape from your life, right? So it's easy. But to build the life you want is a whole other ballgame, okay? And to build it, you have to do it as personal. It's by yourself. It's the stuff that you do when no one is looking. Right? It's at home, it's alone. So stretching, I started stretching in an interesting way, not as a martial artist. This is what's funny. I started at 15 years old, my martial art journey. I'm 55 now. It's 40 years. But I never liked or enjoyed or even was very flexible in the first many years of my martial arts. Maybe 6 years. 21 years old, I was in a rugby game, I destroyed my knee. And reconstructive surgery left me a year without being able to walk. So when I was finished my reconstructive surgery, I had no flexibility. I was like in the bed like this. I was like, I had no flexibility. And I had to start the rehab process of getting my flexibility back. And it was through that process that I actually fell in love with stretching. Because I was like, wow, it actually is much better than I thought. It does. My perspective was, I didn't really care about kicking somebody in the head. That didn't motivate me, even though it was in martial arts. But I was motivated to get my flexibility back. I was motivated to be able to get back to the activities I liked, right? And what was interesting was, while one leg lost flexibility, the other one gained a lot. Because it all relied on one leg, not the other one. So I had to not only get flexible, but I had to reintegrate into working together again. So I think that happens in a lot of our lives. One arm is more flexible or stronger than the other. So, very interesting perspective that I'm going to show you. One was how I was introduced to stretching and how I developed it. So then I go along my journey and I'm teaching, I'm training, I'm stretching just out of a routine. And then one day, I went on vacation to Mexico with my family. And everybody's sleeping, I'm the early bird. So I get to the beach, I go down to the beach, it's like 7 in the morning, I lay some towels out for everybody, and I'm like, boy, I'm sleeping on a bad bed, and it's like, my back is hurting me. So the sun is out, the sand is already warm, so I start to kind of stretch myself slowly one way, and I noticed that there was a yoga class going on further down the beach they had as part of the resort. I was like, I'm just going to do my own stretching. The class had finished, walking by me as I was stretching for about the last half hour. The instructor came up to me and said, oh my God, you're doing this incredible yoga pose that I've never seen before. He goes, you must be like some great yoga master. And it was like, I started laughing. I go, so what happened was I had a stiff back, so I came down to stretch. And as I was stretching, I found this little shell. And I was looking at the shell, and then I don't know, I looked over there because I thought I saw my friend coming down. And then I thought I heard my kids calling me, so I looked back. That's how I got into this position. And it dawned on me a long time ago, some Indian guy went on vacation and was stiff from bad night's sleep, and he invented yoga. I can't stop about this whole thing. So I'm going to show you. That's historic record. It's because he saw a Greek guy. Ancient Greek guy. Anyway. So the way I'm going to show it to you, I want you to develop stretching routine that you can self-master, that you become self-master. Today, I won't be able to show you everything, but my main inspiration today is what can I show you today that you will see benefits from in the months to come? What advice can I give you that will resonate down the road so that you can use this practice to your benefit, right? Because it really is the easiest practice to do. You just do it in front of the TV. You don't have to, it can be done almost anywhere. Listen to a podcast, watch the news, stretch. It can be integrated almost anywhere you have. And it does not take long. It doesn't take long. Makes sense, guys? So there's a physical component to stretching. Of course, you're going to stretch muscles. But after that, it's kind of boring. So I looked at it much deeper. I said, okay, now when I try to stretch my muscles, what about my mind? What about my spirit? What about everything that I have? You don't just stretch one thing. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper if you allow the mind to go there, right? Because in many cases, we get older, it's not just that our muscles start to shrink and we lose flexibility, but our mind as well, our perspectives as well, they start to kind of shrink. We don't open ourselves a little bit more. We find after I stretch, I'm more tolerant of anything. And if I can tolerate with teenage kids, it'll be pretty much okay with anything, right? The main premise here is the body has this philosophy of use it or lose it. Okay? So if you connect with if you do something, the conversation you're having with your body is you're still needed. But if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Okay? And there was interesting research recently. Remember that Hatfield, the Canadian astronaut who went up to space? Well, part of the experiments they did on him was he exercised for, I think it was 3 hours a day, which was a lot. That was much more than the other hours. 3 hours a day. They took blood, urine samples every day, 2 times a day, for 60 days while he was there. And then the results were sent back home to see what was happening in his body. So he tried to really stave off the weightlessness. They tried to see if we could colonate. What do we have to do that and there's no gravity. So how do we stave this off? Well, less than 2 weeks, they see double and triple the bone fragments in his blood. So in other words, because of weightlessness, the body was already saying, oh, we don't need bones to hold ourselves up. So it already started to disintegrate bones in 2 weeks, guys. So if that doesn't explain to you, use it or lose it, this is it, right? So when you move a joint, when you move something, you tell the body you're still needed. But if you don't do that, how many of you sit in a chair and realize after you get up, it's like, wow, like it's almost going to sleep, so to speak. So the first part of stretching is just scanning our body joint for joint and strengthening the connection with the joint before we stretch. Because muscles attach the joints through ligaments and tendons. So in some cases, you don't necessarily need to stretch the muscle, but you need to connect with the joints so you can spread it out so that they can separate. So you can get different types of stretches here. Different types of stretches. We're going to cover them all. Any questions? No? Everybody's pretty good? There'll be a lot, I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be a lot. I'll show you, what I'm going to show you now is a morning routine I do pretty much every day. It doesn't take me long. And it kind of wakes up my body. It helps me connect with my body right away. It's part of something bigger that I do. So I'll kind of share it with you guys now. And then hopefully you can take it on as yourself, right? It does not take long, right? The breathing, before I get started, breathing. So we have many systems in the body. Respiratory, hearing, eyesight, taste. Breathing is the most important, not of the most, is the most important. Nothing really happens without breath, guys. Breath is the most important thing that we focus on. I kind of make it, in general, everything follows its order, right? I never go in front of breathing. Breathing, whatever I do, whether it's exercise, walk, stretch, there's always the cadence and the command is taken from breathing to go forward, right? Okay? Stand up. Okay. So let's start next. So with your fingers, okay? So start to wiggle your fingers. And what I want you to do is try to feel like each joint, like, there's like 3 joints in the finger, right? So try to so first just kind of bend them, and then kind of wiggle them around. If you feel that one isn't, kind of grab it and twist it a little bit, or you can even do it before you start. Like, there's joints, there's 3 joints in each finger, and again, you don't think about it like that, but they are a joint. Has everybody broken their hand? The rehab is very interesting. It's really interesting to break your hand. And then there's like the knuckles, so it's almost like if you make a fist and then open it, so you're looking for the joints of the hands. If any of you have grandparents or parents that are older, usually they have a lot of arthritis in the hands. This is really good for mobilizing the joints, right? If you type a lot, this is really good. Right? And then I try to wiggle my fingers now, but the focus is more the medium-sized bones of the upper hand. So before the wrist. So if you look, usually you can see them dancing around in here. And then you kind of get into the wrist as well. So the wrist can, like turning a doorknob. Right? What I'm also paying attention to is I'm focusing on the wrist, but I notice how my elbow is also moving, right? So you have 2 bones in the forearm, all down the radius. Like this, they're parallel, like this, they crisscross. So the bones here actually crisscross as you do that. And then they go parallel as you do that, right? So you're waking up the joint. You're saying, I'm still needed, right? And then my elbows. And there should be no like muscular activation. Don't like flex anything. Especially in the morning. It's wrong to flex first thing in the morning. And you also, as you're doing this, notice that your shoulders start to kind of move. So I'm moving my focus to the shoulders now. So they can do like the rumba, like go back together, forward together. And of course, in this case, I'm putting in like a steady cadence of breathing. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. It's just a steady pace. I'm not trying to hold my breath. I'm just trying to wake up the breathing as well. And then I might travel back down to the elbows. You can do like that. Like that. And I'll go into like the wrist again. And maybe the middle part of my hand. Knuckles, fingers, tips of my fingers. So if you sit here now, can you feel the difference between the hands and your legs? You feel a difference, right? It's not like, it just feels like they're woken up. It seems like because I've thought about each joint, I've moved it, but I've thought about it. When I've made this connection, I just feel better connected with my arms than I do my legs right now. Right? It's really that simple, right? Start to wiggle your toes. Now, our toes, we don't feel them as much as our feet. So sometimes I'll do stuff like that, or get up on them. You want to pay really particular attention to your big toe. A lot of interesting research is connected to the big toe and the back. So really interesting stuff. So I won't get into the details. This is kind of much, but yeah, try to spread your toes as wide as you can. Try to clench them and then turn them out. And you will feel that as your toes go through different things, you can feel it coming right up your knees. Right? So you start to see that if there's any tension in the toes, you feel it in your knees. People with diabetes, be very cognizant of your toes, right? Good. Now I like to do this kind of like thing where I try my hardest not to touch the middle part of my foot. So I'm on the side of it, then I'm on the tip, then I'm on the edge, then I'm on the heel. So I'm kind of going through one side, the tip. So it's just the middle of the arch that I'm trying not to touch. And I find that it really works the ankle as well as the bones, the upper bones of the foot. You can take even a few steps just to see what it feels like. Again, check your breathing, so you're always inhaling, you're always exhaling through the mouth. It's like a steady cadence. And then I kind of go down and I grab my knees, right? And just gently give your kneecaps, try to relax your kneecaps and make sure that they can move. So the kneecaps should be loose. You kind of wiggle them a little bit. So they should go down, come up, in, and then out, right? What's that? Sorry, say that again?
That's a thing that kneecaps do?
Yeah, so,
mine are not.
So, okay. So, come here, guys. You should, this is an important thing. So, when thigh is not engaged, when the drill is not standing up, right? The kneecap is meant to go up, down, left, and right. See how it's got that leg? Right? So, bend your like that. Okay. So, the kneecap, okay, this is important for the kneecap. The thigh muscle, which is usually much stronger. So I want you to see the kneecap as a horse's head. Okay? Try to imagine a horse. So here's the rider. Okay? So if Julian is always pulling on the horse's head, he's cranking on the reins, the horse is always trying to straighten his head. So this is like a horse's head. If this muscle is always pulling, the kneecap's struggling to get back to the middle, right? And what ends up happening is, this is where a lot of glute and knee pain is. The kneecap needs to be able to track. There's a reason for its mobility. It needs to track up and down, left and right slowly. So if the joint relaxes his leg a little bit, he relaxes it. This kneecap needs to move, right? And you feel it now moving up, down, and across. Yeah. Yeah. Just relax your knee and make sure that kneecap can move. There it is. Yeah, now it's moving. Okay. Now it's moving. You see it now, Spirit, right? You see it. Yeah, it's got to move, guys, a little bit. It's exactly like this. There's a reason for the Adam's apple has to move, right? If this doesn't move, you have lots of, you see it in high level thing, they'll make the athlete stay like this. They put a laser here and here, grid. And if the kneecap goes to one side, it's just eventually a knee injury that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, okay? So you always want to make sure that you're tracking the kneecap nice and straight. Yeah, just shake them. It feels, I don't know.
It's so weird.
But it feels, guys, honestly, okay, can everybody at least relax their kneecaps? Okay, let's shake it. Start to shake it like this. Okay? Shake it. Just count, just for 10 seconds. Oh, just started. Now stop. Let it feel. You feel light, right? For me, it's like, guys, we carry, there's a reason we have so many knee injuries in our society. There's a, like, it will come. Like, if this is the first time you've done it, like, just try it.
Oh, we want to win this weekend. We're doing it all.
So just remember, the kneecap is like a horse's head. If you're constantly pulling, it's fighting to get back into the middle, and that's what's causing the pain. It's fighting it. Whenever there's pain, it's a protective mechanism. So it's a warning sign. It's telling you something. It's like the engine light coming on. Like, you've got to listen to that, right? Because pain is communicating something to you, right? People often just ignore it, take some Advil, it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. It's okay, but you have to listen to that pain. So yeah, knees are not, I know all too well. Let's just leave it like that. I know it all too well. Okay, so now let's start moving the whole knee. So not just the kneecap, the whole knee starts to kind of move, right? Now there's no real right or wrong. They can become very big circles. They can become small circles. Remember to keep breathing. Let's in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, I am noticing that my ankles are moving. I am noticing that even my hips are moving. So they should, but my focus is on the knee. And then very seamlessly, I'm going to move my hands up, and the focus is going to be on my hips. Circles will be small. I'm trying not to so much move my head, but I'm trying to kind of move the hips. And it's interesting with the hips. You can do circles, or you can imagine a figure eight. So if you imagine drawing a figure eight, that's also an interesting way that the hips can start to kind of move. The only problem with the figure eight is how it looks, right? Like Ryan has no shame.
He's got some good mobility in those hips, I think.
All that time on the pole that he spent. Male stripper. Now he's turning all red. So, and you can do the same thing even with the leg, the whole leg. So you can make the figure eight. And again, because the ankle and the knee are kind of just coming along for the ride, it becomes kind of a joint mobility exercise for the hip. Try to let your leg go. You have to hold it back. If you lose your balance, just switch to the other leg. What I love about this is how when we stumble, how we hide it like we meant to do it. It's like we don't want to pretend like we lost our balance. Give your legs a shake. And when I say give the legs a shake, you should, as I'm shaking, you should be able to feel if the muscles are relaxed, they actually move around the bone. There might be some spots that you can't feel as good as others. And then stop for a second. Do they feel similar to the arms now? Do you feel the body though? It's like, my body seems like, I don't know, where it's there, but it's like, I can't really feel it as much, right? So it's starting out with the body. This is important, right? So we'll start with the neck. So start to make some circles with your neck. And when you do these circles, don't just do circles, but for me, I feel one part of the circle is like back here. Something feels tighter back there. So I start to find that spot in my neck that feels tight and slowly find it and kind of work with it. So the neck connects to the skull through two vertebrae, axis and the atlas. Those are two very small vertebrae, tissue paper-like spines, very delicate. So as you turn your head, think of dropping your chin down. Think of looking up with your eyes. Think of looking behind you with your eyes. As high up as you can, as low as you can. As far around as you can.
I was always told it's not good to just lean back and let your neck go. You should lift your shoulders when you do it. Is that true or no?
How long are we talking?
I don't know.
Like a day?
I know, but like you shouldn't just let your neck fall back. It's too, I don't know. It's like
So-
it's just too much strain in your neck.
So let's look at that. So it's actually a very good question. So if I keep my hand, if I do this enough, like you see the cashiers have this one problem. They're always scanning objects. They're doing this motion. And they have all this carpal tunnel, right? Tons of carpal because it's a repetitive motion. But every once in a while, like I do this all the time when I don't understand what somebody does. Like, what are you doing? Right? I don't have carpal tunnel, so I'm not doing it all the time. This, like once in a while, I don't see how we can have this problem. I think if we're doing it all the time, yeah, it would be a problem.
Yeah, that's feel good. Yeah.
When did, guys, for a lot of you, so when I was in high school, I wrestled through high school, and was amazed to this day the amount of strength that those wrestlers have on their neck. Because everything that you think is literally impossible, you can build up so much flexibility, so much strength in your neck. We never do it. We don't use our neck enough, so it's so weak. That's why we have all these problems with it. But there is a lot to the strengthening your neck. Just look at any rugby player. No, seriously, their necks are like this. They're so strong. You know, it's like it's possible to get really strong and be able to do that position as well, right? Okay, so now bend the neck, the chin down, okay? And very slowly, like find the vertebrae just between the shoulders, right? So round the back. Keep rounding it. Keep rounding. Try to imagine like vertebrae, one by one separated. And just literally, it's like feels like you're popping those little packaging bubbles. Like vertebrae by vertebrae, pop, 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 pop. And just slowly go down. And then you're going to lose feeling somewhere around, you know.
Mind me good for a second.
No. So this is known, this exercise if you want to research, it's a stretch. It's known as a Jefferson's curl. So the first thing Lauren's going to do is drop her head. Okay? These are the two vertebrae here, right? So then she's going to focus right here, right? So where are my fingers, right? Start to bend forward. And move them forward. There we go. Round your back. There we go. So literally as Lauren does this curl, inch by inch, she's looking at opening each vertebrae. So it's not so much in the hamstring, it's more in this vertebrae. And right about here, you're gonna like, I can't feel anything. Because it's so tense here. Nobody can feel it. But keep going. You gotta keep rounding the back and go inch by inch, vertebrae by vertebrae. Vertebrae. And then even here is even worse. It's so tight through here, it's hard for you to feel. But try to keep going. Keep going. And then you even have vertebrae in your tailbone. So you gotta go, so there you go. This is known as a Jefferson's curl. Now, this position, Laura has to come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Now you have to uncurl your back. Don't just stand up.
You want me to do it?
Sure. Whenever you're ready.
I'm going.
I know you are. So I do this at home with the weight, with my body weight. So I'm 180 pounds, there's 180 pounds of barbell on the end of. And I go down inch by inch. And what happens is not just the flexibility, it's the strength of flexibility. And it's a Jefferson's curl. Okay? It's a measure of strength in gymnastics. It won't let you do certain moves without this flexibility and without this strength and flexion. Okay? So, good? Yeah. So, everybody try it together now that you've seen it, right? So, it's personal. And there will be some dead spots in your spine because you haven't bent them that way, so you can't feel it, right? But try to think of your vertebrae how it almost like Legos comes off one by one, right? So drop your head. And the middle part of your spine. We like the top part, sorry. That's really, and just on your own with breathing. Inhale, and as you exhale, we'll curl a little bit more. And it's like an inch at a time. And it's mostly for the spine, so just try to visualize the spine. Slowly uncurl yourself. show you because you don't bend like that.
Yeah.
But it will strengthen. The awareness will strengthen. Very good. Good, right? So now stay nice and straight. I already feel my body a little bit better. I don't know where you posture seems already better for some odd reason. It's like, wow, is it really an education piece or is it a wake up piece? Is it like where awareness is we have this body, but we're unaware of it. We're not really truly aware of the body, right? So try to imagine somebody pulling your hair up. It happens all the time for me. Pull your hair up. And then slowly your eyes are going to start to look as far behind you as you can and bring your spine along. Rotate your spine. And then slowly come back. Slowly don't rush. And then go the other way. And every time you do it a little bit more, and for those of you that ever have squeezed the lemon, there's always a little bit more to squeeze out. Okay, so very good. So let's say Julian decides, so he's nice and straight. He starts to turn. Right? There's going to come a point where his body naturally stops. Okay, so hold it there. So I don't know where, but some people feel it here, some people feel it here. Everybody's going to feel that it stopped. Something stopped any further rotation. So now Joe's going to stay here. Take a deep breath in. And a relaxation, find that area that's restricted and relax into it a little bit more. Okay? And as it's, like I told you with lemon, you think you got all the juice out, squeeze a little bit more, and there's a little bit more. Look how much more. Julian can turn around like an owl when you just don't do it. Now, slowly he uncoils, slowly he comes back to the middle. Tries it again on the other side. So first, just naturally go as far as you can go. Something will stop. Doesn't matter what, it's not right or wrong. That thing that stopped you, I can see it, it's right here. He breathes in, and as he breathes out, he relaxes the spark. Okay? Try it. Just try it now. Try it. Just take a few breaths and go a little bit further into this movement. Could everybody find a little bit more when we relaxed into that? To find a little bit more, right? Now stop for a second, sit straight again. Ask yourself, you feel pretty connected with your body. I think the body feels connected now, right? So follow along. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax yourself. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a step forward. take a step and put no weight on it. Right? Now breathe out, put some weight on it. Breathe in. Take a step, don't put any weight. Breathe out, put weight on it. This is to prepare us for the winter. This is how we have to walk on ice. Don't put your weight before you know. Right? No, it sounds, as if you don't know, first you're crossing something, you're not sure, then you put your weight on it, right? I want you to do this now as you're walking. So I know my weight, I take a step, I put my weight on it. Take a step, put weight on it. Try to integrate your breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, I step, exhale, I put weight. Now start to walk normally, but like you're sneaking up to something. So very slowly, very cautiously, not to make any sound. Looks like you're creeping. Have somebody in front of you try to put your hands around their neck if you can. Good. That's very good. Take your breath. Inhale, exhale. Awesome, guys. Very good. Just follow along with me. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale a little bit deeper through the nose, a little bit. Exhale a little bit deeper through the mouth. Inhale much deeper through the nose. Exhale much deeper from the mouth. Inhale a lot through the nose. Exhale a lot through the mouth. Inhale the most you can through the nose. Exhale the most through the mouth you can. Take a normal breath in. Normal breath out. Did anything change? Try it again, pay attention. It's okay, you're right, just pay attention. So, a normal breath in, normal breath out. A little bit more air in, a little bit more air out. More air in. More air out. A lot of air in. A lot of air out. The most air you can get in. The most, more. And then the most air out. Now normal breath in. Normal breath out. Anything change?
It's a little more relaxed.
do this, like, build. When I go back to normal, it's like, it feels easier, it feels smoother, cleaner, the air is not so, it's almost like we're stretching our lungs now. First we're kind of like, we're moving our joint, now we're like filling our lungs. Try to follow along again. One more breath in. One more breath out. A little bit less air in. A little bit less air out. Half a breath in. Half a breath out. A quarter of a breath in. A quarter of a breath out. Small breath in. Small breath out. The smallest breath in you can. Smallest breath out. Regular breath in. Regular breath out. What was the difference now? Did you appreciate the regular breath? I was like, oh, this is normal breath. But when you're nervous, it's half and a quarter. It's like, watch people, in a scary movie, you have extremes, like no breath at all. But when situations get tense, you right away see the breath becomes very shallow. When people are angry, you start to see that breath pattern. So there are times I didn't know I was angry, but I knew my breath was a quarter. I must be being angry, and I realized I was angry at something. Right? Like you sometimes I will notice my state by my breath before that I realize it from a mental perspective. Danger presents itself not visually first. Like, watch an animal that's in the forest. If there's a predator around, you see. You can't see the predator, but for some reason it's noticeably nervous. Not only is the body stiffer, it's like ready to do something, but the breath is also different, right? You see it, right? Remember, breath is the general. It's leading the way for all of this stuff, okay? Okay, sit down. So now that we've kind of, we've gone through our body, we've woken up the joints. Now we can start to look at how the muscles connect to these two joints, right? So first thing you're going to do, grab your ankle, whichever way you can, you put it over, and start to turn, okay? And what you don't see now, you're going to feel it in the ankle. But what I want you to do is start to kind of move the bones of the foot and the toes. And what you'll realize is actually there's a lot of muscles in there. Okay? If anybody's ever had plantar fasciitis, there's a lot of muscles in the foot. Okay? So we're stretching all the muscles of the foot. Okay? And don't ever forget like these ones, like all in between. Okay? And really go to town, right? Just don't break anything. You're more, you have more flexibility than you can imagine in your ankle, right? One of the problems with this is we have such good footwear and such nice roads that our ankles and feet don't get the exposure that they would have in the past, right? So please, really, we want our feet to move freely, right? Now stop and put it beside the other one. You feel the difference. You feel like one is like, now this was just like 1 minute, like not even a movie, but I clearly feel it. This foot feels longer. I don't know why. This one even sits better than this one for some strange reason. It feels more comfortable.
It's a different color.
Yes, it didn't even change all this stuff, right? Now, this is a funny experiment. I've had the pleasure, the honor of having some really good therapists work on me. Just in teaching martial arts, I've been connected with some really high level, I would say NBA level trainers. And I went to one of them and said, my back hurts. And when I went to see him, he stretched my feet and my big toe for 30 minutes. I thought he lost his mind. I honestly thought, I said, I came here for a bad back. I go, you're working on my feet, did you forget? He's a little bit younger than me, but I wasn't sure. And he said, stand up. As soon as I stood up, there was no back pain at all. You have no idea the connection from the foot. I could share with you one thing, don't underestimate how many problems you have where your body can't be fixed from your foot. And if you don't believe me, just look at reflexology. Just look at their science behind it. They can, the whole bottom of your foot, they can tell your entire health of your body. Right? Try the other one now. Let's see if we can make it the same, otherwise we're perfect. Yeah, so there's a lot of joints. There's tons of joints, there's tons of muscles in the foot. So we're after the muscles, we're after the joints, pushing and pulling them. Remember to keep your breathing, right? And try not to hold your breath. Try to keep a steady flow of breathing. Bones of the shin, the tibia and tibia, they connect to the ankle and it goes all the way up to the knee. If you have bad knees, it's not uncommon that as you're working on your ankle, you'll actually feel it trace all the way back up to you. Okay, and put it down. Better. Curl your toes forward. You should feel all the muscles now on the back of your leg. Curl your toes up. You should feel the muscles on the top now. Right? So you can do a varying degree. You have one up, one down. So this one I should feel the top, this one should feel the bottom. Get the gas pedal from right, pushing down. If I push my feet to the middle, if I push my feet to the side, feel different things, right? So just play with your feet for a second. Down, up. You can mix and match them. Now stop. I don't feel that. You feel it again? Do they feel lighter than the rest of your body by chance? I think feel lighter for some. For me, it's not like this. Good. Put your bottom of your feet together. So with your elbows, slowly, don't push, but add your body weight. Okay. Now there's gonna come a point where you feel obviously the muscles on the inside, but it's also common that you feel it in the back. Okay. So what I want you to do, pinpoint the muscle that is at its end of its range. So understand you are not stretching right now. You are tensing. Take a breath in. That muscle that is tense, breathe out towards it and try to relax that muscle. The moment you relax it, it becomes a stretch. Did everybody feel that by chance? Okay. Come a little bit closer. So just watch. So we're going to try this in partners because I think it'll really help you understand what I'm trying to get at. So Joe's going to put two hands on my knees. Okay? So he's going to push down, and there's the end of my flexibility. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tense up my muscles. I'm going to tense up these muscles. Okay? And then I'm going to breathe out and I'm going to relax them. And what's happening, this is active release. Okay? So basically, I'm tensing my muscles, which is what it's like when I'm stretching. And then when I let it go, they go further than they did before. Further than they did before. You can physically feel it, right? You're turning a muscle on, and then you're grabbing that muscle that's on, and you're saying, relax. You're actually saying, you know, that somebody's lost their mind. you're slapping them. Get a hold of yourself, man. It's like, for a second, it's like you're grabbing a hold of those muscles that you want to stretch, you're lighting them up, and you're saying, chill. Chill. Sometimes, until you see it, they don't know, right? So look at your partner, try this, okay? You're pushing down, you're pushing up into it, with an exhale, relax into it. With an exhale, relax. Okay?
Do you want me to stretch you?
Shall we?
Okay, yeah. So, I won't go too fast. I won't let that sit off.
Remember, just enough to feel it. Don't break people. Like, don't make a wish. Just very.
So move your feet further away from the other. Yeah, it's okay. With your knees. So as you push up. Each leg is more flexible. This one is good.
For me, I don't know if it's just a habit I have, but when it feels too, I just need to, it's almost as like I have to shift the energy. A little wiggle is very but I don't know if that's like, he makes fun of me for doing it. He's like, do you really need to do that? I don't know. It's good. I know, I'm trying to weakness. Yeah. For me, I'm like you, I'm feeling it right in there. And it's like holding it up. And then, like, yeah. So I just was trying to, just kind of shift it a little bit. Sorry, I didn't even Yes, absolutely.
When that gets stretched, she goes up from that movement. That moves. You'll get a little attack. Okay. Little good. Okay, you did it, right, guys? Okay, good. Everybody's watching. Did everybody feel the active release? Did you feel it? Okay, yeah. Guys, this is number one thing. You haven't exercised a lot, then you've lost connection with the muscle. So when you tense it up, remind that it's there, let it go. Right? It's really that simple. So, I think it was 10 years ago, I broke this forearm right in half. And it was in a cast for about 6 weeks. And under it, I was tensing, letting go. Tensing, letting go. And when the cast eventually came off, I had such good connection still with the muscles that were here. And at rehab, this one much better. Like, good strengthening, this tensing and relaxing activates the muscle and creates a strong connection. Right? Put your feet straight in front of you now. Put your hands underneath your knees. Push down. You should be able, you should be applying some pressure on your hand. If you can simply pull your hands out, if you don't feel anything, let me know. And do you feel your hands? Are you pushing down? Yeah, as long as you feel a little bit, okay? Now,
The pressure on your hand?
it's a little.
Yeah.
So,
Bring your heels up.
watch this, watch. So, your knee, one hand here, push down. It needs to go, it needs, right? Yeah. So, you see how my heel is coming off the ground? If your knee doesn't go into full, doesn't go a little bit into hyperextension, it's not fully firing, okay? So, something for you guys to do is a stretch. At the same time, actually put your hands underneath here. At home, if you can't do it with your hands, you put something under like a towel or something. Push down. Relax. Push down. Looks like the back of the knee is pushing into the ground. Hold it for a couple of seconds, let it go. Push down. Let it go. Push down. Let it go. Yes. Yeah.
Do our heels need to stay on the ground? Or can our heels come up?
Oh.
Okay, they can come up.
Guys, the knees should go into hyperextension. It's very important.
Why does this hurt so much? Why is it so hard?
So there is a muscle in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a muscle in there. Yeah. It's called the popliteus. Yeah, I know.
Terrible.
I know. It's never been touched before. It really hasn't. It's deep, deep inside the knee, and it's got an ugly pain to it.
Oh my God, it feels better now.
Pretty long.
You should all do that. Get in
So
there.
it is, so the popliteus, that little muscle, it's a tendon. Its only job is when you squat. So you have tibia, fibia, you have your femur, but it goes, the femur doesn't come up straight, it goes out a little bit for the hips. So as I start to squat down towards the bottom end, that popliteus pushes the knee in, so we're straight. Okay? So it's a very funny muscle. It feels like a nasty tickle. Yeah, like you're like laughing and crying at the same time.
Yeah, but that's really changes.
Yeah. So if you want, take your middle finger, let's make it a use so. So put it between and start to kind of massage around the inside of the knee joint, the back of it. Right into the back of it. Whenever I go through something, I just say, don't be better, please.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. You got it.
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is what I do when I'm wrestling with people. Find those little things, you know, There's the logic of it. Why does it exist? But for a second now, after you massage this, how do your knees feel now?
Good.
Different, right? Like, so here we are, guys. It is, we've woken up this, you've touched this tendon that's never been touched before. Like, that's why you guys have touched up. There's another spot in the back of your jaw.
Back of our jaw. Oh my God. Back of our tongue.
Open up your mouth. Why? On the inside, right here. I won't open your mouth. Open your mouth. Yeah. Okay, everybody's scared.
We do it, yeah.
You want to feel it?
Yeah,
Okay. Again, open your jaw wide.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. That's talented. It's all you're aware of. I am nothing but my
You
jaw
sell
and the back of my
it.
Now though, for a second,
Yeah.
for a second now,
Yeah.
look at your jaw now. Oh. Feels a little different, right?
Yeah.
So the knee, so as I massage the back of my knee, so I do these things together. Massage the back of my knee, and then I move my kneecaps. Right? Do them together. So you're relaxing. So if you massage, you get this middle finger, really get in there, right? It'll like pull it like almost like guitar strings. Just play it across. And then all of a sudden, you move the kneecaps, and it's like my feet are tingling now. Like it's like I've increased some sensitivity across it, right? Put your feet together. Bend forward. Try it. Whatever you do. So there's going to be a group of muscles that have tight, right? So what do I do? Breathe in. As you breathe out, talk to them. And ask, tell them it's okay. And slowly, 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 millimeter by millimeter, try to focus on your breathing as the main reason that you go forward. Try to, like you're growing forward, you're moving forward, millimeter by millimeter. You're not feet by feet, millimeter by millimeter. So at home, you could use a towel, you could around your feet or something, or use something to pull you, right? Watch this for a second, guys. Give me this in part. So, Joe's gonna put his hands on me nicely, just on my hand. So he's gonna let me go as far as I can go. And then from this point, he's gonna feel me. I'm gonna breathe in, and as I breathe out, relax. He gently kind of doesn't allow me to go back. Then I stop. You can feel my inhale and exhale, and push a little bit more. And we kind of inch by inch, or millimeter by millimeter, we go forward as I relax. He's not forcing me. As I relax, he goes forward, and what he's essentially doing is not letting me go back. He's holding my position for me so I can chill a little bit, find my breathing, and go forward. And then you slowly, when you get to the ground, stop. Try it with your partner. It takes about 20 seconds the whole thing. Just breathe until you're on the ground. What's that? No. That's it. That's next one. And then switch, guys. After like 20, 30 seconds, just switch.
Yeah, right? And that it works. Like it does like that a little bit more. Oh yeah. Yeah, just let the weight push you down. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. You wanna try again?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
that one squat is like very weak squat.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you go to-
After something.
That's a good thing. That's a great. You can use it. What about you? Can you get me out of there? Ah, you're getting it. Okay, let's do that. So this, when you feel my hand,
Did everybody do it, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, come. Let's do the next one for a second. Okay. Okay. So the next one looks a little something like this. Okay. So again, the pushing and pulling is interesting. So in the last one, somebody was pushing you forward. Now somebody's pulling you forward, and the pushing and pulling feels so different. So the first thing is I'm holding Spirit's hands, nice and relaxed, right? And I'm going to let her come forward as far as she can go. Okay. Now, it's not like I have to pull her forward. Spirit has to look inside herself and say, where is the tension? It's probably in the upper back, right? So for all your breathing is there. Focus on your breathing there. And all I'm doing is, I'm holding her hands, I'm not letting her go back. I'm not really pulling her to me, just not letting her go back. So she can rest there without, because every time you relax, you come up, right? This one starts to go. So when the spirit really feels like I can't go any further, or she gets scared, she can slowly start to drift over to one leg. That will change it. Again, paying close attention to her breathing. Right? There you go. So what I'm doing here by touching Spirit right here, right? It's see how she dropped it right away. As soon as you touch it, any tension is like it's like you don't know it until you touch it. So if you can see some tension and you can reach it, just lightly touch your partner, and you'll see that spot will almost instantly drop. Now for somebody who came by and I did this thing with the arms, right? So the interesting thing about human beings is when they feel the direction, they can go that way. Right? So I start to kind of, now Spirit's starting to cramp. Now she's cramping. That you can feel. So straight, left and right, and try to help the person not pull back. Okay? So try it. Use your breathing.
You want me to go first? You just want to be careful. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
we're just yeah, talking about how we feel. I mean, it's really good practice, I gotta say. I did some real work here. Yeah.
No, this is
my hamstring is really tight. Surgery is so weird. It makes it difficult to go for. I feel it. Yeah.
You feel this last couple of you really spent like an inch. So which one feels? This one feels okay. I think you actually got more range on it. Yeah, it looked to me. Maybe we just spent longer there. That's better. You seem to be lower on that side.
seriously. So this is like becoming your own therapist for yourself.
Yeah.
You just have to pay attention. Did you do it, guys? Everybody did? Put your hands behind you, thumbs pointing out, thumbs pointing out. So walk your elbows out, relax your shoulders, okay? And with your bum, slide forward just a little bit. Just enough so you feel the shoulders, right? Don't move the hands at all, just leave the hands where they are. Take a deep breath in, relax yourself. Slide the bum forward a little bit more. Don't go too far, you gotta come back. Breathe in, breathe out, try to relax those shoulders, go a little bit further. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So look at your face, if you can. Try to make sure you're not grimacing. Don't go that far into pain. Like, I don't know about your shoulders, but my shoulders, I feel them both so different. One, I can feel tension in one spot, one in the other. I know, you feel your elbows. Now, without moving your bum, walk your fingers away from yourself. Slow. Don't break anything. So this position that you're in right now is 1/2 of waterboarding. Just so you know, it's semi-torturous. It's just so rare. Now lift up one leg, start to move it a little bit. Just to take your mind off of your hands. It's mostly for that. And put it down. Okay, now very slowly come up. Very slowly. All the way to put your hands on your lap. Just like that. Yeah. So just enjoy how heavy your arms feel now, right? Feel kind of different, right? two hands on it. Hold it, okay? Go the other leg behind you. And then drop everything on top of that. So, look close to this. Just watch what I'm saying. So the shoulder, so my shoulder goes to the ankle, and this shoulder should be equal. Just try that. It's yeah, just try. Yeah. Try your best.
So that's your move, right? You do it and you can
I saw it on the show. I didn't feel it. It was on Instagram. I saw it. Isn't that all great things? Very slowly peel that far shoulder off and come to the side for a second. What? So now you can approach it from one side. So I'm going to connect this, and I think that should be pretty good. Mostly pretty good. Now try to put the other shoulder down. Try. It won't happen right away. We'll slow. Okay, so it's actually not bad, guys. Very good. Not bad. Just don't be hard on yourself. We all have to start somewhere. Remember what I told you? How did I start stretching? I literally remember it. That's my starting.
Are you supposed to have the top of your foot on the mat or the side of your foot, the back foot? See, that's where all
That's what I keep saying to myself every morning. As I start my day, I say that exact same thing. See, that's where it all goes wrong. Because of what I meant by, okay, switch sides. Now, as you sit for a second, you feel it different now. You feel the hip, right? This hip is seated much different than this. You can already feel it, right? This, good. In front of you, hold that down, feel it behind you. So again, start high. You start nice and high. So first thing you want to make sure is at least the shoulders and the shin are in line with each other. And then just lower yourself. Wherever it is, it's fine. Keep saying, don't break it. Awesome, that's very good. Come on, with this. What's that?
cute.
So, put your knee and ankle in one line, okay? Start to slowly make some circles. Try to keep the foot flat down if you can, right? Making some circles running. Both ways. Now, put both hands behind the side. Push forward and allow your toes, your foot can go up onto the toes. Just touch the knee down. Come up on the toes, you're fine. And then slowly come back. Grab your shin. Turn your foot. Turn your shin. Turn it as much as you can. Grab those two bones and literally turn it. And then turn it back a little, and go the other way. So turn the tibia fibia. You need to be able to turn in and out. That's one of the features of those ones. So the ankle needs to be able to go to the side and then outward. Also this way. And if you want to check, just put some weight on it slowly. feel it up here. And now the other way, opening. Stand up for a second. Does the leg feel different? You feel a difference in the leg? I feel it right here for sure, right? Flat foot, right? But first, circles with the knee around the foot. Foot stays flat. Use your knee there. Grab the shin. Turn that foot. This knee is completely different for me. This is the one I've damaged. It doesn't feel better or worse, but it feels different for sure. It'll feel different for both of you. Switch. Let it settle. Try again, come up onto your foot. Come up onto your toes and try to touch that. Knee down, knee down. Back. Sit down. Do the same. Do the same. Right down the stomach. Once in front of you. So far forward as you can. Just watch me if you can for a second. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, don't move the body, but move the fingers a little bit up. Now breathe in. As you breathe out, move the fingers up a couple more millimeters. So as you breathe in, you stay still. As you breathe out, you fight for the millimeters. Try to imagine lengthening your fingers. Now breathe in. As you breathe out, with your wrists, think of your wrists. Stretch the wrists, open them a little bit. Breathe in, stay still. Breathe out, open the elbows. Try to reach with the elbows. Fight for a couple millimeters through the elbow. Breathe in, hold still. Breathe out, stretch from the shoulders. Try to fight for some millimeters through the shoulders. Breathe in, stay still. Breathe out, relax the spine. Find a few extra millimeters through the spine. Now stay there. The upper body stays there. Breathe in. Reach down with your toes a little bit from the other end. Fight for a few millimeters there. Breathe in, stay still. Breathe out, stretch or reach from your ankles. Relax your ankles and find a few millimeters there. Breathe in. Hold still, breathe out, relax your knees. Try to find some room from the knees. Breathe in, stay still. Breathe out, stretch from the hips. Relax the hips. Find a few millimeters there. And stay still. Breathe out, relax the whole spine. Try to find whatever remaining stretch you can. Stay exactly where you are. Follow along. Breathe in, tense up your body. Breathe out, relax it and stretch more. A few more millimeters. Find it. There's more there. Breathe in one more time. Tense up a little bit. Breathe out, stretch one more time. Now relax everything, just lay there. Try not to lose any length. Just stay as long as you can, but as relaxed as you can. Without losing any length that you've got. Slowly as you can, without losing the length, roll over to your back. Slowly. Don't lose any length, just roll simply to one side. And stay as long as you can. As long as you can. Deep breath in. Breathe out, stretch from the toes and the fingers. Just a little bit, guys. It's millimeters. Don't get crazy. Breathe in, relax. Breathe out, stretch from the ankles and wrists. Breathe in, relax. Breathe out, stretch from the elbows and knees. Move your focus. Move your focus. Breathe in, relax. Breathe out, move from the shoulders and hips. Relax. Breathe in, stretch from the spine. Lengthen your spine. Lengthen, lengthen. Breathe in, tense up the body. Breathe out, stretch it. Another few from the skin. Really bust out of yourself. Relax. One more time. Breathe out. Stretch as far as you can. And then relax. Try not to lose any length. Just stay there. Just breathe. Just breathe for a second. Allow yourself to be open. But completely open. Try to see and understand what happens physically, but also mentally, psychologically, spiritually. When you're in this position, so open, completely vulnerable. Very, very, very slowly sit up, help yourself, sit up. Time. You're breathing, slowly stand when you're ready. Just go for a quick walk. Just check and make sure everything is still there. See also how your body feels. Spine. You can check in different positions or walk different ways. See how your body feels. When you stretch the right way, it should be like you can agree on moving in any direction, in any way you like. The body feels loose and easy to move in any direction. It's almost more agreeable. It's like you feel, I don't know, you don't feel sad, but it's kind of like, Awesome, guys. Come on for a quick second. How do you feel?
Good.
So the beautiful thing about stretching is that there's really endless amounts of stretches in different ways. I've studied from there's static stretches like I showed, there's dynamic stretches like we've seen in some sports. There's no real right or wrong way. It's just for you to connect with your body. So the way I kind of showed you today was like first connecting with the joints, making sure that they're mobile, then putting muscles under some strain of some sort. So it's like my hamstring. I've got some strain on my hamstring. That is irrelevant to me. What's more relevant is that I can, with my nose, grab this uncomfort, and then with my exhale, get rid of it and start to. So it becomes stretching. So a muscle that's under tension becomes stretched when you relax it. It doesn't become stretched when you force it. It's a totally different way about it. And I showed you dynamic stretching, which is or a force, whereas you activate a muscle, and then on the exhale you let it go, right? And you this is not a new concept, but it's one that needs to be maybe not understood but practiced more, right? So it really, I can watch any videos and watch people stretching, and I will apply these principles all the time. A muscle under strain, and then relax it. And the connection that it has to mastery and maybe martial arts would be when people grab you or they do something to you that tenses you up, whether it scares you or gives you some fear. The moment you can relax that thing disappears completely, right? When I was younger, I was quite heavily bullied. So the bully represented fear and danger. And the biggest problem is not the bully, it's the life we give the bully that he never had. Like, we tried to make him some big monster, but it's not really. It was quite easily to handle the bully, to be honest with you, right? Tension or things like this will give them a life that they don't need. Muscles, if you look at them in a petri dish, when I was going to school, they don't do anything. You poke them, they don't do anything. The nerves, when you put an electric current, they tense stop. So in other words, when I'm doing this and I'm stretching, my muscles, I have to grab my mind first and say, nervous system, I'm stretching. It doesn't know that I'm stretching. It doesn't have that but I have to give it that understanding to relax. Does that make sense? It's like if you have the central nervous system, which is your brain, it's communicating with your body. So the muscle will only fire under my command, right? But if I put it under strain, it's going to send me a warning sign. Hey, the muscle is getting to the end here. You're running out of flexibility. So I'm saying, no, I'm stretching. Oh, okay. And then I have to have a communication with my nervous system, right? That's really what it is. Isn't that what you did when you first hopped onto a roller coaster ride? You're terrified. It was there to scare you. And then I can guarantee all of you, first night, you were terrified. But then after a while, you grabbed a hold of your nervous system and said, this is just fake. This is just, they're scaring you, but nothing bad's gonna happen, right? And then by the end of it, you're like, woo, and you're in the middle of fear and you're having fun, right? So this stretching, I couldn't see it as a kicking thing in martial arts, but I definitely needed to see it as a rehab thing to get my legs back to the way I wanted them, right? So it's like I became old in my 20s. I lost all my flexibility. I lost everything. I had to get it all back. And the hardest part, like I was telling you guys, was not the physical. It was the mental part of it. I went from this elite athlete to basically a cripple in bed. And it was horrible, right? And to this day, I had this great conversation with my teenage boy. He's like, oh, I had the best day. I sat in my room, in my bed, playing video games. I go, you really? Show me how you were doing it. He was just lying in bed, playing his video games all day like this. I go, so palliative care was your best day. I go, and I was like, all right, man. And he's like, and he had to think about it. When you can move your body, that means you can use it for your whole life. That's what I want to do. So this is something I've only increased, not because I want to be good at my martial art, because I want to grow old and still have the communication. I still need you at 80, I still need you at 90, I still need you at 100. I need to make it all the way. And how many of you know, it's really realistic, given healthcare and all the research that's being done, that all of us could reach 100 years old if we tried. It's not that out of our scope if we just take care of ourselves just a little bit, right? How do you find it, guys? You happy?
Yeah.
You feel good?
Yeah.
Feel good? Any questions about the stuff? Because we're gonna get into some of the cold now. We're gonna get to the cold dust.
Woo! Talk about fun.
Yeah. So here's the connection. So you're saying, well, how does the cold connect, right? So your trick is this. Not your trick. Your goal or your objective is this. When you go in there, not to shrink. And I mean that. Like, you will shrink. Like, stuff shrinks. I can't stop that when it's cold. But I'm talking inside. I want you to go in that cold and just don't go like curl up like a ball, but stay as normal as you can. Imagine if that was the Mediterranean and you just sink into that water. There's nothing closing up on you. But that cold is trying to close you. Because why? Because all the blood, you understand what's happening in there, right? So all the blood in your legs and your arms say, uh-oh, we're falling through the ice in the Arctic. We need to save all heat for the core organs. So all the blood is going to come rushing back into your body to keep your core organs warm, okay? So you will feel the blood leaving your legs. And that's what I told Lauren, I can actually feel it leaving my legs, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want to do that. Be in that tub, as stoic as you can. Say, I know what's happening, and talk to your nervous system saying, I got this. Right? Just like that thing.
And it's not leaving for bad, it's leaving for
It
good.
is, yes,
It's
it
leaving
is.
your legs to come up to your core to protect your vital organs,
100%.
and then it'll come back through. Yeah.
But now you have that knowledge, but look how weak you are. Like, for me, it was like, I can be so tough in so many ways. I can handle all kinds of stuff. That's tough, man. That's tough. Lauren has done some stuff I can't do as well, right? So it is another way of challenging you. It's another way of inspiring you to understand this idea of stretching. I don't just want you to be a flexible, like physical. I want you to be a flexible person under dire situations. Like, guys, it's great to go to church and be a spiritual person, but I need it when I'm facing like a real douchebag out in the street and he's bugging me. I gotta be a good person then too. It's not just at church. Like, you want to be an open person. You want to be flexible and free. Try it in the cold, and then if you are, you really are. Then you really are free, kind of a thing. Yeah.
And the tool that we have to help do what Emmanuel is asking us to do in the cold is the breath.
Yeah.
That's
Use the breathing.
so just like you used your breath today through the stretches to communicate intentionally to your muscles to relax, to get that little bit of increased range, we're going to do the same thing in the tub. When you feel yourself tensing and tightening and bracing, because you will, it's a natural reaction, you're going to use your breath to relax. Drop the shoulders, relax the jaw, and sink into it. I think as like it's the Mediterranean. Is what you said?
Yeah. It's all the
Yeah.
benchmark in my life. It's like.
So the breath is the tool, right? As you said, I really stuck with me at the beginning. You said, your breath is an indicator of your emotional state, of what's happening inside the body. Like, you may not be consciously aware that you're upset or angry, but if you notice you're breathing really shallowly, that's a sign. Likewise, we can use our breath to intentionally change the state. So when you notice you're breathing shallowly, oh, I'm angry or I'm upset, I can actually shift that state within my body by consciously breathing. And the cold's a really great way to practice that, because it's a deliberate stress that we're putting our bodies under.
Well said. Yeah, really well said. Is ready to start?
Cool.
With some cold?
Yeah.
Who's excited?
Yeah, let's go. Okay. Whoever's got to go first. Yeah.
Does
We're-
anybody have to leave right at 12? Because
Then-
if you do,
yeah,
then
go.
we'll
Yeah,
start with you.
you
Sean,
first,
you are
I
starting on
also, but I can go second.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good,
So
good.
if you don't have your suit on already,